The crowd at Freedom Plaza swelled beyond capacity, a sea of humanity stretching across blocks of downtown as Ronald Bosman took the stage for his victory speech. Campaign signs bobbed like waves in the evening air, their glow sticks and phone lights creating constellations against the darkening sky. The president-elect's voice carried across the square, strong and unwavering. "Tonight, we've proven that the truth cannot be buried forever," Bosman declared, his words met with thunderous applause. The American people have chosen to reclaim their destiny. Behind him, Nolan Husk and Lark Ferguson exchanged knowing glances. Their months of work exposing the ecliptic order's manipulation had contributed to this moment, but they knew the battle was far from over. Even now, their data analytics showed a nation severely divided. Across the city, in neighborhoods where the order's influence remained strong, windows were dark and streets empty. Millions of citizens, their minds shaped by years of careful psychological conditioning, huddled around television sets watching controlled media outlets declare the election suspicious and potentially compromised. The order's remaining media assets worked overtime, spinning narratives of foreign interference and domestic terrorism. Outside the Meridian Hotel, where Mo Seedon's campaign had gathered to await results, angry protesters clashed with police. Many wore shirts bearing slogans crafted by the order's social engineering team, unknowingly promoting their own oppression. Their genuine fear and rage, products of years of careful manipulation, erupted in waves of violence. Back at Freedom Plaza, Bosman continued his address, acknowledging the division. "To those who oppose our victory tonight, I say this: you are not our enemies. You are our friends, our families, our neighbors. You have been lied to, as we all were. The time has come to heal these divisions and face the true threat to our freedom." In a secure room beneath the stage, Marcus Hawthorne watched the speech on a monitor, his face illuminated by the screen's blue glow. He typed a simple message to the remaining order members: "We must prevail." The real war was about to begin. As cheers echoed through Freedom Plaza, Nolan Husk received an alert on his secure phone. His AI systems had detected unusual movement patterns at military bases across the country. It seemed General Wiley wasn't the only high-ranking official that was compromised. The order was making its next move, and the celebration above might be terrifyingly premature. The first week of Bosman's presidency erupted like a carefully orchestrated symphony of justice. During the transition period, his team had meticulously prepared, gathering evidence, positioning personnel, and drafting executive orders. Now, with the full power of the executive branch at his disposal, they struck with precision. In the newly established command center within the White House, President Bosman stood before a wall of screens, Nolan Husk at his side. The room buzzed with activity as specialized teams coordinated operations across the country. "Operation Sunlight begins now," Bosman announced, signing the first of several executive orders. Within hours, specialized task forces, prepared and vetted during the transition, deployed across 12 states. Their targets: Whitestone Holdings offices and data centers, the front company that had been forcing climate refugees from their homes. As teams secured servers and documents, Husk's AI systems, now integrated with federal resources, began decrypting years of hidden financial transactions. The evidence was staggering. Billions in dark money flowed through a labyrinth of shell companies, connecting Whitestone to the forced medication of schoolchildren, the sabotage of water treatment facilities, and the synthetic food shortages that had created labor camps across the country. Each thread they pulled revealed another layer of the order's web. Dr. Helen Maxwell, now heading a presidential commission on pharmaceutical fraud, worked with a team analyzing seized medical records. The data confirmed what she had long suspected. The mass prescription of SSRIs had been orchestrated through kickback schemes and manipulated research data. The papers linking school boards to pharmaceutical companies, which Aaron Sullivan had discovered before being fired, were just the tip of the iceberg. James Edwards, appointed to lead a special EPA task force, finally gained access to the secured files from Lab 4B. Working with a team of environmental scientists, he proved that Pristine Waters Corporation had been systematically introducing fertility-reducing compounds into the water supply. The evidence was damning enough to secure emergency court orders, shutting down their treatment facilities nationwide. But the order fought back. News networks under their control launched a coordinated campaign to discredit the investigations. Social media bots flooded platforms with disinformation. Their planted agents in government agencies began destroying records and warning targets. "They're getting desperate," Husk observed, watching real-time analytics of the order's response. "That makes them dangerous." President Bosman nodded grimly. "We knew this wouldn't be easy. But we have what they don't: legitimate authority and the truth. For every piece of evidence they destroy, we're securing 10 more. The truth is like water. It finds every crack, every weakness. And their dam is finally breaking." At that moment, screens throughout the command center automatically switched to a live feed. Mac Gould's stream had begun, his viewership already climbing into the millions. "Breaking news," Mac announced, his usually casual demeanor replaced with serious intensity. "Federal agents have just arrested Philip Bates and Randy Dawsey on charges of crimes against humanity." The chat exploded with reactions as Mac continued. "The arrests are connected to the MCL vaccination program that we've been investigating for months." Security camera footage played across the screen, showing Bates being led out of his corporate headquarters in handcuffs while Dawsey was escorted from his private medical facility. Both men's faces bore the shocked expressions of those who never expected to face consequences. "Documents released by the Justice Department confirm what many of us have been saying," Mac continued, pulling up redacted files on his screen. "The MCL technology was deliberately designed to alter human genetics and destroy the immune system. Billions have been impacted. The death toll—" He paused, swallowing hard. "The death toll is still continuing to be calculated, but early estimates already suggest millions may have been affected worldwide, with the figures rising." In the command center, President Bosman watched the stream with grim satisfaction. These arrests were just the beginning, but they sent a clear message. No one, no matter how wealthy or powerful, was beyond the reach of justice. "The truth isn't just coming out," Husk said quietly. "It's breaking down their doors." Deep beneath the Swiss Alps, in a chamber carved from ancient rock, Marcus Hawthorne stood before a being that defied human comprehension. The Nordic's towering form emanated a cold light, its crystalline eyes reflecting centuries of observation. "We gave you the opportunity to control humanity's destiny," the being stated, its voice resonating directly in Hawthorne's mind. "Yet your order loses ground daily. Perhaps we overestimated your abilities." Hawthorne fought to keep his voice steady. "This is a temporary setback. We still maintain significant influence over global media networks, financial systems, and key institutions. The population reduction targets." "You are losing control," the Nordic interrupted. "Your methods have proven inefficient. We gave your order centuries to guide humanity toward balance. Now we question whether you deserve to choose which humans survive." "The MCL program was working," Hawthorne insisted. "Before these arrests, fertility rates were declining precisely as planned. Immunity systems are damaged. Deaths are rising. Our weather modification systems have been exposed." The being's tone carried millennia of patience worn thin. "Your order's manipulation is now documented. Trust in your institutions crumbles." Hawthorne stepped forward, his desperation evident. "Give us time. We're implementing wide-scale social destabilization protocols. Our AI systems are already flooding global networks with divisive content, turning regions against each other. We can still create enough chaos to what end?" The Nordic's form shimmed with disapproval. "More decades of subtle manipulation? The planet system's approach collapse. We gave you the choice of how to achieve balance, but you have failed. Perhaps it is time we took a more direct approach." "Please," Hawthorne's composure finally cracked. "The order has shaped history for centuries. Everything we've done was to prevent your intervention. If you'll just allow us to escalate our efforts." "You have 6 months," the Nordic declared. "Demonstrate real progress, or we will implement our own solution. Your order's privilege of choice expires then." As the being's form faded, Hawthorne pulled out his phone with trembling hands. His fingers hovered over the screen for a moment before typing, "Initiate Protocol Prometheus." Within seconds, responses from the remaining order members began flooding in. "Are you certain? This will destroy everything. There's no going back." Hawthorne's reply was simple. "Better we choose the method of humanity's reduction than leave it to them." In secure facilities across the globe, dormant order operatives embedded in various military and intelligence agencies received their activation codes. Years of careful positioning had placed their people in key strategic positions across multiple nations' defense infrastructures. The plan was elegant in its simplicity: create an escalating series of military incidents between major powers, each one carefully orchestrated to appear as aggression from the opposing side. Their media networks would fan the flames, their financial systems would create economic chaos, and their political assets would advocate for military responses. They had spent decades mapping out the precise pressure points needed to push nations into conflict. Every diplomatic back channel that could prevent war would be systematically eliminated. Hawthorne stared at the final confirmation messages appearing on his screen. In his mind, he was not destroying the world. He was fulfilling the Order's original purpose. If humanity had to be reduced, it would be by human hands, not alien ones. He typed his final command: commence staging. 72 hours to first strike. The countdown to global conflict had begun.